let me get 3 questions before we even start. 3 questions. Hit me up. Anybody? Look at your card then. Look at your card.
Getting your first property with not using none of your own.
All right, great question. Getting your first property with using none of your own money. How are we going to do that? The best way that you're going to go about getting your first property with none of your own money, somebody try to help me out. Hard money lender, that's good. Let me hear another one. Because I want juices flowing today. Credit card.
Angel investors.
Angel investor. What is an angel investor?
People basically who have a lot of money who, at that point in their life, willing to invest in other people and just take a small percentage back. So it is kind of like hard money, but they're not as aggressive in terms of the risk.
Clap it up, y'all. Clap it up. Because he hit it right on the head. But I'm going to go something even better than how you get your first property. You get your first property by moving and owner occupying your house. Most of you out here are going to move into a house, and that house is not going to be your forever house.
Right.
The very best way to get your first property is to owner occupy the dwelling. Meaning, you get a house, let's say the house is $100,000. You live in that house for at least, say, a year. If you get a VA loan, you have to stay there for at least 12 months. But it's called owner occupying. Because if you go and owner occupy a house, what kind of interest rate are you going to get? A low one. If you go get an owner occupied house, so listen to what I'm going to tell you. If you get an owner occupied house, the bank is going to give you the lowest interest rate possible because you are moving into the house. Okay? And then after you leave out of that house, this is the #1 way to get an investment property. I can't tell you no other way. Next thing is what he just said. Angel investor, private money, hard money, if you were going to just turn it into a rental. But the best, and that's a great question, Ms. Parham, the best way for you to get your first house is for it to be a house that you move into. Because when you move into it, the interest rate right now, you can get an interest rate in the 2%.
Yeah.
I just refinanced my personal house where I live in, and I got a 2.25% interest rate and didn't have to pay my mortgage for 2 months. We're going to come there in a second. All right, so what's the best place to get your first rental property? Owner occupying the house, and you live in it for a while, and when you outgrow that house, then you go ahead on and get you another house, meaning you don't sell that house, you rent that house. So if you got a house that's $100,000, that's only going to be $800 a month with taxes, insurance, and the mortgage. Because the interest rate is at 2.2 right now. It's low. So when you leave out of there, then you rent that for $1,500 a month. Now you're making a spread between $1,000 and $1,500. So you're getting what? You're getting a profit of how much?
500.
You're getting a profit of $500. Now imagine if you get 10 of those. How much money you making a month then? You're making $5,000 a month. And you did it from owner-occupying houses. That's how I got my first 3 houses. Me and Sabrina, we got our first 3 houses by living in them. We own one in Atlanta, Georgia. I bought it in 17 years ago, 2004. I moved into it. Check it out, y'all. This is a live situation. I bought a house on the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia, in Conyers, Georgia. Conyers is on the east side of Atlanta. I bought it for $135,000. I put 0 down on the house. And on my VA loan. So if you got a VA loan, you don't have to put no money down. I put 0 down on the house. I've owned it for 17 years. I lived in it for 2 years. I haven't seen the house, and since me and Sabrina went up there a year ago and we saw it for the first time, but I hadn't seen it in 12 years. Every month, I make $650 a month profit off of that house. Every month. We have $150,000 in equity in that one house. Now, since the market is so high right now, we're going to go ahead and sell that property. And I'm going to take that $150,000 and what I'm going to do with it?
Invest.
Okay, that's good.
Invest in more property.
That's right. I'm going to take $150,000. Listen, this is a true story. I'm going to take $150,000 and I have no money in the game. I've also collected about $50,000 in rent over the 17 years. Anybody got a calculator on your phone? Somebody pull out your phone for me and do this for me real quick. Teachable moment. Let's say, just say, because you're going to have vacancies when a property gets vacant. And you're not going to make no money when you get the property is vacant. So instead of saying, let's just say we make $450 a month. Because when you got a vacancy, nobody paying. All right? So $450 a month. Go to your calculator. Y'all ready? Times that 17 years. No, first time 17 times 12. What's 17 times 12? 204. Now, times 204 by $450 a month. Say it again. We have made equivalently for 17 years $91,000 off of that property of cash flow. Now we finna sell it and make a profit of at least $150. We gotta pay the realtor, so let's just say we make $135. But we put how much money down on the house?
Zero.
We put zero. We put zero dollars down on the house. We got $91,000. We made over $250,000 off of a house that we just moved into and held it for long term. And the reason why we're selling it now, the market is in a frenzy, and people are bidding over appraisal price right now. So this is the best time to sell because there's no supply. There's no supplies of houses right now. So why wouldn't I sell that house, take that $150,000, come back to Bartow, find me a house, which we've already found the house, okay? Let's just say it's $30,000. We're going to put another $20,000 into it, so we only spent $50,000. We've already found a tenant for $1,390 a month. So I'm going to get a check for $150 minus a $135. I'm going to spend $50 to get the house. We've already got the tenant because everybody always looking at the social media and saying, Greg's renting Section 8. Nobody else don't rent the Section 8. So that's how you start making your money in real estate. So that's one example. So now let's go to the next question. So let me look on your thing and give me a question.
Vacant property.
Vacant property. All right, vacant property. If you see a property when you're driving around and you see the yard is all grown up and it's all big, you probably want to stop and see, how can I get this property? Clarence, what would you do if you saw a vacant property and the grass is all grown up and it looked like nobody was there? Like that house right there. So you look at that house right there on Polk Street, that looked like, I know it's vacant. It's vacant. So what would I do, Clarence?
I'll stop, I'll get that.
Listen up, y'all.
I stop, I get some information on the house, and I do something called a skip trace. I go to Zillow, put the address in, it'll tell you the information about the house. Like when it was built, the size of the lot, the size of the house, and how much a house sold for in 1975, and how much it's worth now. So you just do all your information. So when you call the seller, they'll tell you this and that and the other. So if they try to tell you a lie, I got the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Or you can call the property appraiser as well. So.
All right, so do y'all understand that? Basically what he's telling you is, you see a house. This is how you find a house. I'm giving you the game right now. You look at that house. You see the address. The address is 1050 Polk Street. Now that house doesn't look like nobody lives in it, right? Then you're going to go to Zillow. You look at Zillow, and the Zillow is going to have a link. I'm telling you to go to Zillow because you don't have the name of the person to the property. You don't know the name of this person who has this property. Zillow is your cheat sheet. Zillow is not going to be accurate on how much the house is worth. They have a thing called an estimate. Don't worry about that. Bypass that. You're going to go down to it, going to say county website. When you see the county website, you're going to click on that. Check it out, folks. That hyperlink, that's a hyperlink. That's going to take you right to the county website at Polk County, Bartow, right up there town. And guess what it's going to tell you at that point? It's going to tell you what?
Who owns it?
It's going to tell you who owns it. The game is to be sold, not told. It's going to tell you what else?
Taxes.
It's going to show you the taxes. It's going to tell you if the taxes have been paid. It also is going to tell you the address to where the owner is. Now, it might have 1050 Polk Street as the address for the mailing address. It's going to be a mailing address and the property address. If the mailing address is different from the property address, then you need to do what?
Reach out to them.
You need to reach out to them. I'm telling you how to get the house. Once you see the property says 1050 Polk Street, and then the mailing address says 123 Main Street, Lakeland, You know the owner of that house lives in where?
Lakeland.
They live in Lakeland. So now you can call them and ask them, can you buy that house? And a lot of people say, Greg, why would you teach somebody this? Why would you do this? Why wouldn't I do it? That's the question. I want my neighborhood to grow up and be better. I don't want to try to have it all for myself. I want the west side to be beautiful. That's why we got nice houses coming up. So I want everybody to win. Okay, I can't get all the houses. So that's how you find the house. You go to Zillow. The link is going to say county website. The county website is going to take you to the property appraisal. The property appraisal is going to have the address of the property and the mailing address. If they're the same, then you would just have to send a mailing letter to this address. Once you send a letter to this address, guess what? If they have a forwarding address, it's going to go to wherever they forwarded the address. So then they're going to get it. This is a true story. I bought a lot on Gordon Avenue right here. It's right down the street. I bought it for $10,000. This is on the west side, literally one football field down the street, Gordon and Austin. I mailed the letter to the guy in Arbondale. He called me immediately. He was very hostile. He said, listen, people been calling me about this, blah, 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 blah. I said, hey, listen here, man, just slow it down. I said, what you want for the property? He said, I want $15,000 for the property. I said, man, listen here, here's what I can do. I can give you $10,000 and I'll pay the closing costs. And he said to me, I don't know how he had the same title company as me. He said, go to Florida Professional Title, give them a contract. He said, I don't need to see you because too many people have been BSing me. Go there, give an earnest money deposit, which is $100, and write out a contract. He said, I don't want to see you. This is what he told me. I'll go there and sign it after you go there and put the $100 earnest money deposit, and then we'll make that a legal contract, and then the title company will go and do the background check. I did that. I bought the property for $10,000. I spent another $1,000 because I paid the closing costs. I turned it around 4 months later and sold it for $19,300. This is on Polk Street. And guess who I sold it to? I sold it to the guy next door. The guy next door didn't have no yard to put his boats and his trailers. So he came over and said, hey man, what you gonna do with this lot? I said, I'm gonna build a duplex. He's like, man, I really wish I could get this lot. And I said, hey man, for the right price, you can. And he said, well, what's the right price? I said, check it out, y'all. I said, $20,000. He said, man, you ain't paid that much for it. He was smart. He went to property appraisal and he found out how much I paid for it. He said, man, you paid $10,000. I said, hey, listen, man, don't worry about how much I paid for it. How valuable is it to you since you ain't got nowhere to park your boats? Do you want the lot? He said, yes. And Sabrina, we closed it, right? So that's another way of doing it. Next question. Look at your card. Give me a question for your card.
Well, I had a question.
Go ahead. Hey, give me a question. Go.
LLC, like, do you suggest art to, like, you said LLC?
Okay, check it out. Great question. She said, if somebody want to get into fix and flip, do I set the LLC up in advance? You can set the LLC up, but here's what I would say to you. Don't be stagnated by an LLC. Get out and start networking with folks now and getting your deal flow coming to you. All right, John Atkins, come here for a second. Come on up here, John. Now, John don't like to talk, but I'm going to get him today. Okay, John Atkins is the guy that does all of my drywall. He does all of my popcorn ceiling remover. He does all of my painting. You see this house right here? That's a brand new house back there. That mustard color house. Who you think painted it? Who you think
John.
Drywall in it? Okay. Then Jamie house is the house on the next side of that house. This is our bungalow house. Who you think put the drywall in it? Who you think painted it? Then you go down the street and they had a duplex that we purchased for $95,000 and it cost us $92,000 to renovate it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. The realtor put it on the market. I tried to tell him don't put it on the market. He put it on the market anyway. I said, man, I'm telling you now, nobody's going to pay you $95,000 for this because it was totally, it was bad. It's so bad that We had to take everything out of it and redo it, right, T. Gregory? We had to dig up all the plumbing, cut up all the floors, to do all. We had to strip it down to just the bones and redo it. Guess who put the drywall back? John Atkins. All right. So John Atkins, what are you doing right now in Lakeland? Tell them how we partnered together on your flip in Lakeland, and tell them how you got that, because they're talking about how do you get your first house. Tell them, John.
You tried to get me, and then. Just a long story short, basically, a lot of my friends know that I was looking for properties. So one of my friends called me up and says, "Hey, listen, I got some property that's basically for family, but I know you've been looking for one. Do you want to take a stab at it?" I said, "Let's see." So his auntie called me and she says $35,000.
How much, John?
35. Well, actually $36,000. So I said, "Let me go take a look at it." It was a wood frame house. I went inside. Of course, I know how to do this stuff, so I figure out, okay, I can put, maybe $5,000 or $10,000 in here and get it back up. So anyway, we sealed the deal, and I asked her. I had the money, but I wasn't going to give her all the money. So
Why not, John? Why wouldn't you give that lady all her money?
Because I wanted to save my money to do something else with it, as far as fixing the place up or whatever the case I need to do. So I asked her, would she owner finance it for me?
What? Wait. What's owner finance? What is owner finance? Somebody help her out. What's owner?
Owner finance is basically when the owner gives you a mortgage on the house.
Man, let's get up here and teach this class, man. All right, y'all heard what that guy said? What's your name? Gusham. Check it out. Gusham hit it on the head. Gusham said, John got a thing owner finance, so he didn't need no what?
Bank.
He didn't need no bank. So the next way to get a house, Miss Parham, is if you house hack it, you need a bank because they're going to give you a loan. You can go to Radford Homes and say, man, can I buy one of your houses? You got this brand new house over here. I know you done sold it, but you finna build another one. I can't get no loan from the bank because I got bad credit or whatever. And then I said, well, okay, I can work something out with you. I can put you in a lease first, and then I can put you in an owner finance second. Put them in the lease first protects you, and then the owner finance comes second because they don't buy the house, the lease is in the lease. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, John.
Okay, so we settled a deal, 3 years financing. So at closing, instead of me putting down whatever she asked for, I put more down. And so we went there. So after that, we went into the house. I had the tenants to move out. They stayed in there for 2 months because I wouldn't live in there. I didn't want them to live in there. And they was begging to stay. And I said, I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it. The very first day after closing, they said they had rats in there and the toilet was falling through. So I replaced the toilet. And then I said to myself, I got to get them out of here. I'm sorry. So we went in there. We got them out and basically gutted the whole place. I mean, completely gutted. New drywall, new floors, new electrical, new AC,
They have to pay.
plumbing.
Okay.
But those three, well, I ain't gonna talk about that. But anyway, so we're just still waiting to.
I got a question right here, John.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you said you had to get them out of the house.
Uh huh.
What was your process? Did you pay for them to live somewhere else, or did they live with family? Or how did you do that?
I didn't. Forgive me. But I told them that we're gonna go in and do a soft rehab. We're gonna upgrade the electrical, fix the floors real fast, and give us about 90 days or 60 days. I think it was 60 days, and that 60 days turned into now. So basically, we gutted the whole house. Everything's brand new in the house except the exterior.
So they had to find somewhere else?
Yeah, they end up staying with their brother or family member.
All right.
Now, let me help you out. Here's the deal. If you have a house that you own and you basically you inherited those tenants and they're living in a dilapidated state and somebody go in there and they fall through that floor and they break their femur, who do you think they're coming after?
The owner.
Exactly. So the house was in such deplorable shape, it was dilapidated. John had no choice because John runs Central Florida Texture and Painting. All right, and he does a lot of work, and he has to protect himself. So you cannot be owning. You can own a house like that, but as soon as somebody go in there and their child fall through the floor and break their neck, they're gonna sue you. So John had to make a hard decision to say, "Hey, listen, I know you're living here, but this house is not livable. Now, the previous landlord, it is what it is. We're not going to bash nobody, but it is what it is. But John said he just couldn't do it. And that's the right thing to do. So he has the capability to go in there and remodel it. So a lot of people don't have the capability to go in there and remodel it. So John, how do you go and remodel a house when you don't have a lot of funds? Can you help me out on that?
Use all of the resources that you have.
Say it again. Say it loud for him, John.
Use all your resources.
Okay, let's go around the corner. What's a resource that you might have? Jasmine. You? What's a resource? Oh, me, what's a resource you might have? Come on, Kim.
I'm a realtor, so
Okay.
I can make my own commission off of buying houses.
Okay, Kim, tell them a resource. Kim is doing a big project right now with T. Gregory right now.
These people that you may know that can, handymans in the family.
Okay, what's a resource?
I got a handyman.
You got a handyman. What's another resource, Sabrina?
Credit cards.
Credit cards. Credit cards. What's a resource? Your income. What's another resource?
I have a handyman.
A handyman. What's a resource?
Maybe a little side gig to get some money.
The side gig to get some money. Okay? So there you go. So John is telling you he had to use all his resources. One of his resources was who? Exactly.
Before you start talking about one of my biggest resources was I wanted to get AC number one. That was the first thing I was thinking
this is
about.
a good one.
Was Florida. So I had a company come out there and do AC. They came in and did the estimate, and the guy said, "You own this company?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Why don't you come follow me?" Over in Winter Haven, Lake Radford, there used to be a Marina Bread company. Eagle Lake, I'm sorry, yes, Eagle Lake. And he says, "Let's do some trade. You mind doing some trade?" I said, "All depends." He says,
What do you mean trade?
Barter.
Oh.
He says, "Could you paint this building and I'll put AC in there?"
Ah.
I said, I said, "Let's think about it. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, wooden house, new AC. Of course, I've been around the field for a while. I know I'm probably going to spend maybe $5,000, maybe $6,000 at the most. This building is a commercial building, and it's like, oh man, it took me about 40 gallons of paint, inside out, also drywall repair and texture." I said, "Man, you must think I'm crazy." And I start thinking overnight, thinking. I said, "Hold it, I got another house over in Haines City."
Another unit.
Called him back up. I says, "Hey, how about going over there and do a new AC system over there?" So now I know I got it. So I got 2 AC units
Right.
for 2 houses, whole 9 yards to paint that building, which only cost me a few $1,000s and a little labor. But we made it work. So that was a great bargain. And then the second bargain was Greg, and Greg really just came through. And we got all the guys together that we work with, and we just start talking and putting things together, and it worked out. So
Now, John said I came through. The only thing that I really did, I just used the resources that was around me. I was flipping a house on the east side of Bartow, Booker House, over by Carver Recreation Center. I'm sure if you follow me on Facebook, you got tired of seeing that house. Because I put it everywhere, all day, everywhere. All right? But if you think about it, why I put it everywhere? I bought it for $91,000. My wife sold a lot for $30,000 that came with it. That wasn't with the house. So we really bought it for how much? $61,000. We sold it for $265,000. That we just did that in the last 30 days. In the last 30 days, right here in Bartow. We bought it for $91,000, sold a lot, so we really bought it for $31,000. $61,000. Yeah, $61,000. And then Mr. T. Gregory was a contractor on that, and he had to do extensive work. He had to do drawings, plans, architect, the whole 9 yards. All right, now the rehab was $145,000. We spent $145,000 fixing and flipping that house. How do you think we fixed and flipped that house with $145,000? I leveraged my credit. Mm-hmm. I have a Home Depot credit card that's $40,000. I have a $30,000 credit card with Lowe's, and then we have about $400,000 in credit card limits. And most of them are business credit, so they don't show up on my personal credit. So when I leverage my business credit to the hilt, it doesn't hurt my DTI, my debt to income. You get it? Because Radford Homes is established, and I have several trade lines on my Dun & Bradstreet on my business credit report. So then they send me stuff all the time. But you gotta be responsible when somebody send you $400,000 worth of credit card limits, because that can put you in a very bad situation if you don't know how to get out of it. Go ahead.
Explain debt to income.
All right, your debt to income. To make it simple, you owe $1,000 on something. All right, take your calculator out, somebody. Take your calculator out. You owe $1,000. You have $1,000 limit. Now, just put in your calculator. You spent $875. $8,500. Put $8,500. Divide that. The limit is $10,000. Divide that by 10,000. What does it say?
85.
85 what?
So 85%.
So check it out. You have used 85% of the credit utilization of that credit card. The credit utilization of a credit card is how much you are using compared to how much the limit is. Okay? So you have to be very careful with that, because when you run that up to 85%, it lowers your credit score drastically. Now, do I really worry about my credit score? I'm talking for Gregory Radford, not you. Okay. I don't worry about my credit score in the middle of flipping a house, because I leverage my credit, and most of the time I leverage my credit with a 0% interest, because I call the credit card company and say, hey, how you doing today? Hey, this is Greg, man. I've been a loyal customer to you for a long time. Yes, you have, Mr. Radford. I said, hey, are you offering any promotions right now? And they say, yes, we are. We have a 0% interest, Mr. Radford, for 12 months. But you got to pay it back in 12 months. And there's a 2% transfer fee. I said, how fast can you get that $40,000 in my bank account? They said, well, Mr. Radford, you have it in less than 24 hours. I go out and buy a house. That's a true story. I've done it several times. I'm not telling you to do it if you're not going to be responsible. I buy that house. I get the convenient check, or they deposit it into your account. They can either send you what they call a convenient check from your credit card, or they can deposit it directly in your account. Okay? So that's another way to what? Leverage. All right? So thank you, John, for bringing that up. Somebody give me another question. Look at your card. Look at the cards that I gave you and throw out a question.
How do you assess a deal?
Okay, how do you look at a deal and break it down?
From bad deal.
Okay, that's a great question. I should let you do it. But all right, how do you assess a deal? Okay, now, we're going to be looking at the bungalow here in a minute. Let's just, since it's cool up in here, let's just stay here. The bungalow house I'm going to use for a live situation. My bungalow house is on the other side of that house right there. When I first got that deal, because I can't talk about nothing fictitious, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing on the west side, because I want y'all to see what I'm doing so my private money guys can send me millions of dollars so I can build up the whole hood. All right? That's another thing. That's why I'm doing that. So I want them to see what we're doing, because then they come alongside me and they like my why. Person might not give you money because you do just, you don't know, they don't know what you're doing. They might give you money because they like what you're doing in your hood. You're teaching people for free. And then they may say, hey, Greg, I got plenty of money. You can do that at 931-241-9714. I got plenty of money I need to give you. But when you get money from people, it should be somebody that you already know, because you don't want to get in no trouble. So let's say the bungalow house. When I got the bungalow house, a friend of mine, dad owned that house. And he knew that I was buying houses because everywhere I go, I wear this shirt. And I put it all over Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And he came to me and he said, hey, I want this house. Now, I looked at the house, and at the time, I only bought the house for $30,000. I looked at it in several different lenses. I looked at $30,000. The house is dilapidated. It's no good. Is it really worth $30,000? Well, it might not be. But the land alone, so that's a great question, is worth $30,000. So I bought the bungalow house, and then me and my general contractor, we went and pulled the permits. All right, make sure you pull your permits, because if you don't pull your permits, they're going to get you and they're going to stop work on your house. We went and pulled the permits, and we redid the house. Okay, we redid everything. That bungalow, it was built in 1920. It was built in 1920. We redid everything in it, because Miss Honeybunch and Jamie live in it, and I live 4 houses down, and they live 3 houses down. So she helped raise me. So we went in there and we remodeled that house. We had to relocate her for about 3 weeks while we were doing some of the work. We put a new roof on it. We redid all the plumbing. We updated the electrical. We redid the back porch. We did the front porch. And check it out. We went through the whole house and redid all the floor joists, 3/4 inch plywood. We put a kitchen in there. The kitchen looked better than my kitchen at home. We redid the bathrooms. If you want to check it out, just go to Radford Homes YouTube page and you'll see it. Now, we spent $35,000 rehabbing this bungalow. So now how much money we got into the bungalow? $65,000. That bungalow can easily rent today for $1,000 a month. So in 65 months, I could have my money back from the bungalow. And everybody knows 60 months is 5 years. So in 5.5 years, I'll have my money back. It's going on 2 years that they've been renting that. But what's even better than that, the house came with a large lot. So that lot where the new build is sitting on, that was part of the 1920 bungalow. You get it? The 1920 bungalow sat on an 80 by 160 lot. So what did we do on the back side of the lot? We built the what? We built a brand new house. So it was worth way more than $30,000 to me in value because I was able to take the bungalow house and get it for $30,000, put $35,000 into it. Then I had a survey come out, and the survey came out, and he split the lot, and I built that new house along with Joey Manning. Now, here's the deal. When we built that new house, it cost me nothing for the what?
The lot.
For the lot. It cost no money for the lot because the lot came with the house. It cost me $500 to split the lot. Went to the property appraisal. It cost $35 for them to give me the new parcel ID. We built the house for $150,000. We sold it for $225,000.
Did you have to get an appraisal?
Did I have to give an appraisal? Well, great question. When you build a house, whoever is buying the house, they're going to have an appraisal. So the lender is going to send an appraisal out. And the appraisal came out, and they appraised it, and it appraised for $225,000 and higher. But the great thing about that is she got instant equity because she got $15,000 down payment assistance from the city of Bartow. And she got upwards of $7,500 towards her closing costs. So she moved into the house for $0 down. I can guarantee you today she can list that house easily for $285,000 right now. And she could walk away with $80,000 in less than a year. It's only been a year since she's been living there. All right? Now, that deal was a monstrous deal for Radford Homes. Because if we built the home for $150,000, sold it for $225,000, then we had $75,000. I bought the house and rehabbed the house for how much? I got paid $10,000 to buy that bungalow house. But the reason I got paid that is because of my resources. John Atkins went in there and painted it and did all the drywall and got it right. Mr. T. Gregory, the general contractor, pulled all the permits and made sure the city of Bartow wasn't on me. Then I came back with Mr. Joey Manning, and me and Mr. Joey Manning collaborated, and we built a new house. And we moved on. So now in the city on the west side in my hood, where I grew up in a raggedy bungalow house, I've changed the trajectory of how things are starting to look around here. Not just me, other people are doing it as well. So that's why we're here. Next question. Somebody look at your card, give me a question. We can start on this side. What you got?
Wood versus block homes.
Great. Let's talk about wood versus block. Who would like to have a wood house over a block house?
Nobody.
Not too many people. If you were up north, you would probably have a wood house because it's cold. Okay, so up north they do a lot of wood houses. Okay, when I first started, and me and my wife first started, when I say it's the team. Radford Homes, John Atkins, T. Gregory, Felix, all of it. Everybody, my roofer, the whole 9 yards. Because you can't do this by yourself. So when we first started, we didn't want to take wood houses. But as we progressed and we started moving forward, we had an opportunity, and that was our first wood house. So we took it. But why did we really take it?
for the land.
We took it for the land. What else? Give me another reason why we took it.
The price.
The price, that's good. The real reason why we took it, it was right in the west side on my street, right here. So I knew if I took that, and the next thing behind just taking it, being on the west side, Miss Honeybunch and Jamie lived in it. So I knew if I got that house from Miss Honeybunch and Jamie them lived in it, I knew the impact that I was gonna make, all right, on the house. Now it cost me $35,000, but it may cost him and Janet, it may cost them $70,000. Because John Atkins came in there and did that for me because I got a relationship with him. And he knew I was trying to do something nice for Miss Honeybunch, who's 94 years young. Okay? Or 93 years young. So that's how that went down. So what was that question again? I'd rather have a block house, but would I take a wood house if I have the right guy in place? And I had a guy named Gabriel Felix, who's a carpenter, who is the absolutely best in the world that I ever messed with, that I ever talked to. He's just a great dude, all right? And he did the house for me. I don't really know how to do anything with a house. The only thing that I know how to do is probably what you can do. I know how to do 2 or 3 things. I know how to find a property. I know how to get the money from a private money lender where he don't run my credit. All I do is sign one piece of paper. I sign a piece of paper, I send him the deal, I tell him what the deal looked like, I put it on a nice spreadsheet or in an email, and I say, here's what I got. He trusts me now. And I send it to him, and I say, hey, here's what I need. I don't let him send the money to me when I buy the house. Where do I have him send the money to?
Title company.
The title company. Why do I have him send it to the title company? Because of the IRS paper trail. I don't want the IRS thinking that I bought all these houses for $100,000. And they say, man, you done bought $2 million worth of houses. They're going to come to me and they're going to say, hey, where'd you get $2 million from? So how do you get around that? Well, it's smart. You don't let the private money guy give you the money. You let him send it to the intermediary. What's the intermediary? The intermediary is the title company. Don't buy a house without going through the title company because you don't know if it have liens on it. You don't know if it have mortgage, second mortgage, third mortgage. You don't know if somebody have what we call a vested interest in the home. So the title company is going to protect you and they're going to be your insurance. They're going to be the intermediary. There's an intermediary between me and Clarence, and that is the title company. So don't never give the person who owns the house any money. You don't give them no money. You say, whoa, I ain't giving you no money. I'm going to give the money to the title company. It's okay. You have to pay a title company $300 to run the title and to take it to underwriting. And underwriting, go in there and see if there are any liens at the city. Anybody who died and had a second mortgage on it or reverse mortgage, they're going to tell you all that. So they're going to protect you. All right? So you have to do that. Next question. But wood, we'd rather have a block house over a wood house, but if you got the right person that can do as a carpenter, then I'll take it on.
So this is piggyback off what you just said, because I was talking to somebody, so if you do it personally, and let's just say you don't do it for your business, is there a law statute that you can only put one house per year?
No. If you check it out, when I first started, I didn't have Radford Homes LLC. We established Radford Homes LLC when I retired, and I thought, what's the best way to put my company name in? And I thought about my wife. How can I take care of my wife and my children's children? Because that's what a good man's supposed to do. That's what the Bible says. So I put it in her name. But the house that I own in Georgia, the house in Conyers, I bought that in my personal name. I had to because the VA wasn't going to give me a loan in my business name. So you can flip houses in your personal name. Now, as a protector of yourself, it's better to have it in an entity. Now, some people don't do that, but I wouldn't let not having an entity set up stop me from going out and acquiring houses. I will still move forward, but I will go ahead and get those things in place. And that's pretty simple to do. You just get with Sabrina, Miss Radford, and she'll show you exactly how to do that. You can go on YouTube and do that, but if you need somebody to help you out with that, Sabrina will show you exactly how to do that.
So you would need the business, in order to start building up like the business credit for the credit card, you need an LLC in place, right?
Not necessarily, but yes and no. Check it out. The most friendliest person to start building up your business credit is probably going to be between store like Home Depot. You're gonna go into Home Depot and you're gonna go and you're gonna walk to the Pro Desk. The Pro Desk, right, John? How do you think? I'm using John a lot. How do you think John Atkins got his first credit card? Tell him how you got it, John. Who told you about the Pro Desk? All right. Now, when I want drywall, who do you think that I call? I call John Atkins because I don't know how to do drywall. I don't know how to paint. So I call John Atkins. When John Atkins want to try to get that bag, I know how to get the bag. I'm telling you now. Am I right, T. Gregory? I know how to get the bag. You get the bag through what we're doing right now. Get a wrap around in there. You get the bag about what we're doing right now. When I say get the bag, I'm talking about the private money lender. They're calling me saying, Greg, when are you going to let me fund one of them deals? I see what you're doing in the community. How can I be a part of that, what you're doing on the west side? I want to get into that. They will come to you if you put in the work. But you got to put in the work. You got to do the classes. So don't be afraid to go forward. And business credit, I will go to Home Depot and Lowe's and say, hey, I want to open up a business account. Now, they're going to make you what they call the guarantor because you don't have enough trade lines on your business account to stand alone. You have to have what you call trade lines. And to establish good trade lines, you need at least 5 business trade lines on your Dun & Bradstreet or whatever. You got Equifax also have a business, and I think Experian has a business credit report. And you got Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet is going to try to upsell you stuff and say, hey, we can get you trade lines, we can get you high limits, and this and that. Okay? You don't really need that, but I didn't really need that because I am not so much of a flipper. I'm really more of a guy who learned how to extract capital funding from other guys, and I learned how to get the deals. When you learn how to get the deals and then somebody's giving you the funding, it's infinite. Imagine this now. You know how to get the deal. I live on social media because it's my job. Social media can hurt you and it also can help you. I'm not on there trying to do nothing crazy. I'm only on there talking about real estate. And if you don't like it, turn the channel. That's all you have to do. I don't want you to turn the channel because then I'm going to tag your buddy and then you're going to say, there you go again. Okay? So, but I'm going to do that because I'm serious about this real estate thing. I want everybody to win, not just me and everybody. Why are you teaching it? Why are you telling everything? Well, why not? The hood can come up and then we'll have better things. Check it out, y'all. I'm going to say this to you. In your community, a lot of things is driven from the city hall. They have a meeting every month. You have to go up there and you have to find out what's going on. They have funding for certain situations. I'm not going to talk about this one situation, but it's a guy who's going to build a multi-family unit. And the city of Bartow has collaborated with him and waived all the impact fees. He's building a unit over 25 units. Each unit has an impact fee, sometime of $9,000, $10,000, $12,000. How much you think the impact fee was on that brand new house right there behind us? 15. Somebody, 15. How much you think it was? What is an impact fee? Anybody can tell me what an impact fee is?
When a home hasn't been built on the land, you have to pay a fee.
Give her a round of applause, y'all. Now, what's your name? Mia. Mia hit it out the park. I split the lot. I bought the house with Jamie and them living in, then I split the lot. I didn't have to buy the land. But the city of Bartow got their tax up front. The impact fee is to cover what, T. Gregory? What the impact fee cover?
Fire, education, everything.
The road, the impact for building on the roads, the electric, having the electric company coming out, setting it up, the whole 9 yards. So I had to pay $17,900 and some odd dollars before they would even give me the address and the parcel ID. So, now you got to go back to that. But that was inside the $150,000. So really, now you know how much it really costs to build a house. You get it? It costs $150,000 building, I paid $20,000 impact fee. It really cost me about what?
$170.
One what?
7.
No. If a house costs $150,000 bill and I gave the city of Bartow 20, it really cost me how much? $130.
Right.
Because $20,000 was the tax that the city of Bartow took. You get it? Now, how do you get around not paying the impact fee? I'm glad you asked, Facebook. Well, you get around that by having a house that you demolish, you knock down, that you don't want. It's a don't want it. That house right there might be a don't want it.
Or build in the CRA.
Or build in the say it again, T-Gray. Let T-Gray get the shine.
Build in the CRA. That's the community redevelopment area. Every city has one in the core of the city. And because they want to get taxes for land that's not being used, they will waive your impact fees because it gives them incentive to get taxes later on when you start living in the house. So the CRA in your area is called the community redevelopment area. Go to City Hall and ask about it.
There you go. So now, why did I get $15,000 down payment assistance for that house over there for the building? Think about that now. Somebody gonna give you $15,000. There's a prerequisite that comes with taking that $15,000. A prerequisite is a requirement. What is the requirement? If the city gave me $15,000, gave you $15,000 to move in that house, you buying it from Radford Homes, what is the requirement? You're gonna have to stay in there for how long? But there you go. You're gonna have to stay in that house. The city of Bartow said you're gonna have to stay in that house for 5 years. Check it out. Sabrina, my wife, they did a house right here on the west side too. We own another property. She got a property on Forest Drive. They also did it there, but I think they had to stay in there 10 years? Yeah. They had to stay in the house for 10 years. Listen, you gotta go to the city hall and find out what they're giving away, or you gotta go online to the city of Bartow and see what they're giving away. The young lady that moved in that house, she only got to stay there 5 years. In 5 years, she'll have $100,000 equity because she got instant equity like that. So in 5 years, she can sell that house. Listen up. If she sell that house in 5 years, under the code IRS 121, Google it, IRS 121, you can own a house for 60 months. You do not have to live in the house consecutively for 60 months under IRS 121. It is something that I move diligently with. If you own a house for 60 months and you live in the house for a total, not consecutively, of 24 months, preferably the 24 months is on the latter end of the 60 months, you do not have to pay capital gains, which if you buy a house for $100,000, you sell it for $200,000. They're going to tax you on $100,000. You don't pay capital gains on $250,000 if you're single. But if you're married, they double that. You don't pay capital gains on $500,000. So if I bought a house for $100,000 and I sold it for $600,000 after the 61st month, I don't pay no capital gains. So every 5 years, me and Sabrina automatically go look for a new house. Check it out. If I don't look for a new house, I'm doing myself an injustice. Because the way I live at right now, I have $300,000 in equity. There's no lie. I owe $200,000. I refinanced my house. It was at $202,000. I can sell it today for $500,000. How do I know that? The houses all around me next door just sold for $500,000. And it doesn't have a fireplace. It doesn't have a glam room. It doesn't have a bar on the kitchen island. It doesn't have an office. It doesn't have travertine going all up the way. It doesn't have a big boom out back without the pool so we can entertain. So I have $300,000 that I can literally sell the house right now because I lived in it over 60 months. And IRS, if you don't believe me, you use Google. Google is your friend. IRS 121 states if you buy a house and you live in it for 60 months, 24 months out of the 60 months, you have to reside in it, meaning you have to own and occupy it. You have to register with the property appraiser that this is my place of residency. You have to homestead it. Once you homestead it and you sell that thing and you make a profit of $500,000 and you're married, you don't pay no capital gains. You take that money then and you go and buy you several rental properties. Then you go back out and use your VA loan all over again and put zero down. It's a tool that you have to use. Next question. Somebody give me another question.
Giving back.
Giving back. Okay. You can't get no better than what we're doing right now. And I ain't talking about me. For y'all coming out here and being an audience to RADFORDHOMES and T. Gregory and John and the whole 9 yards and Jeff with the Wrist Club and My Touch Barbershop and Clarence, y'all are giving back because you're giving me a platform. So I'm going to reverse this thing on y'all. Get them. Y'all are giving back because you're giving me a platform to get this out. My wife, it drives her crazy. I am up all night looking for houses. I'm trying to edit videos. I'm in this thing to win it, man, and I ain't stopping to put me in the dirt. And then, check it out, when they put me in the dirt, my property's gonna keep paying my family. They're gonna keep paying my children. Think about it, Sabrina has a G-Wagon. Not to brag or anything, she don't pay for that. The properties pay for it. One property paid for that G-Wagon. You remember the property that I told y'all that we spent $95,000 because nobody wanted it? Literally, the guy took it and went to the big-time flippers that's way bigger than me. Now, they know me because they're going to know me because I'm going to be over on social media. Find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. All right? I'm going to be everywhere, right? So the big guys know me. The duplex was so bad. They said, man, I would have to get this for 30 or 40 grand in order to break even. Right? That's what they literally said. So he came back to me 2 months later. And he said, okay, Greg, you can get it, man. Nobody wanted it. I said, I told you nobody wanted it. He said, you're right, but I had to try. And I respect the hustle because he had to go out and see what he can get for the owner. The owner was trying to get 120 for it. Then they brought it down. Then they took it down a little bit more. Then it got to a point where when people were going in there, they said, man, this place it's not livable, and we might have to call the social workers on y'all because it was that bad. So then I said, hey, I cannot buy that with the tenants in it. When the tenants move out, and I put it on him, you have to remove the tenants, not me. When you do that, I'll buy it. Because I didn't want to say, Greg now owns this house in this deplorable, unlivable situation. So in the agreement it was, I'll pay you the $95,000. I'm already paying way too much. But what paying way too much is what you think, is what you perceive. Somebody else paying it's not enough. So he got the tenants out. They got the tenants out, and then I took ownership of the property. And then T. Gregory and Felix and John, listen what I'm going to tell you. I never buy a property without having my whole entire team walk the deal. Because you have to listen to me. I don't know how to flip a house. I know how to find a house. I know how to get the private money to buy the house. By the way, I didn't buy the duplex for $95,000. My private money sent the money to the where? To the title company. He sent the money to the title company. Now here's the caveat. Here's the crescendo. You at the top right now. I didn't even pay for the rehab. I put it all on credit cards. We spent $92,000. I paid T. Gregory with a credit card. I paid John Atkins 7 Akins. Okay, let's get it right. Akins, I say Atkins all the time, sorry. I paid this guy to do that new bill. Listen now, I'm going to put his business out there. I paid him to do that new bill. Now this is simultaneously. I'm saving the best for last. Simultaneously, while we were flipping the duplexes on that same street, King Street, we were building a new bill. Now, we didn't get private money for the new bill. Why do you think we didn't get private money for the new bill? Well, the new bill, I had never done a new construction home. And I don't want to take Clarence money when I don't know what I'm doing because Clarence lend me money at any given time. Clarence have lent me thus far $350,000. Okay, it may not sound like much, but it is. He lent me $350,000. I don't want to take the money on the new bill because I don't know how long it's going to take to get done. I don't know what are the requirements. I don't know if it's going to be done right. I don't know what's going to happen. So I don't want to take his money because I don't want to get in a bad light with him. So I built the new bill. We built the new bill, 85% all on credit card. And what we couldn't put on the credit card, we put on credit card because we called up and said, hey, could you give me 0% interest for 12 months? and then they deposit the money into our account. Now, I have been working on building these big credit card limits. All of my credit cards are over 20,000. Some 50, some 46, some 36, some 30. There's 6 of them that's 20,000. Okay? So I put it all on credit cards. I told my builder, I can't pay you nothing in cash. He said, you don't need to have cash. I'll send you the stuff through the email, through, what is it called? That thing? Square, and what's another one?
PayPal.
Not PayPal. We did use PayPal. We use Venmo. All right? We use Venmo. You can use Cash App for so far. And remember, my Cash App is $RADFORDHOMES. So if you're getting something out of it and you want to contribute, talk to him, Jeff. Put it on Jeff real quick.
Now, a lot of places you go, you have to pay for all of this great knowledge and information. So he's giving you millions of dollars worth of information. He's walking you through the home. It's practical stuff. If you got another question, you're going to be able to ask him, and he's going to tell you because he like to run his mouth if you didn't already know. And guess how much he's going to charge you? Zero. He's going to charge you zero. And watch out, pick up a little. But anyway, bless this man, help him out. He's always doing a lot of great things, amazing things for the kids. He's posting what I do with the Risk Kids, Teen Business Camp, Risk Kids Camp. So he's a phenomenal guy. I don't even know how he do all the stuff that he do. But he's a blessing to the community and everybody he's around. So hit that Cash App, $RADFORDHOMES, and you can, you give to everything else. Give him a couple nickels, dimes, pennies, and quarters, and then help out what he do so he can continue to do it for free. So he's gonna give you way more than enough. You're gonna get tired of looking and listening and learning, but you're gonna have all the information you need to be successful.
Yeah. All right. So simultaneously, while we built the duplex, we built a new build. So we were really out there. I'm talking about we were out there. So the DTI on my credit took a dive because I'm leveraging now. I'm out here hustling. All right. I'm trying to get it. Now we did the bungalow, and the bungalow came to the new build. And at the same time, down the street on the west side of Bartow, this is all on the west side, right down the street, we did the duplex. All right. Then right around the corner from the duplex, we did another house on Ruby Avenue. Then we went across town to the east side and did Booker. Long story short, when we came out of that thing, we sold 2 houses. We sold the brand new bill for $225, and we sold the one for $265. Think about that, folks. That's $465 plus 20. That's $485. That's $490. That's $500,000.
$500,000.
That's $500,000.
And 3 pieces of land.
And 3 pieces of land, which we sold the land for $83,000. All right. So we was able to come out that water. So guess what we're doing now? We went back to the table, right? Went back to the drawing table. When we got all that money, what's the first thing we did?
Paid everybody.
We started paying everybody. We sat out, check it out, and the money went like this. Boom! But here's the kicker. What did we keep? The credit score went back up, but what did we keep? No, what houses did we keep? We kept the duplex.
Yep.
We kept the bungalow.
Yep.
And we kept the house on Ruby Avenue. And we kept Sabrina's house. It's right on the west side. Somebody get a calculator out. I want you to calculate this. Because this is why I need you to get rental properties. I need you to get rental properties. This is why you need rental properties. We flipped our way out of that thing by the grace of God. We ain't that good, so we give it all to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We flipped our way out of that thing. Come on up here, Kim, so you can get it good. Come on up here and put it over. We flipped our way out of that thing. Miss Radford was on me. She was like, you better get my credit back right. You got everything everywhere. What are you doing, Greg? Yesterday, she came in the house. She told us, oh, look at this. I said, what? I got an 809 credit score. I got an 809. I said, get on. Get on. She got an 800 credit 9. What I want to tell you is, you got an 850 credit score. I'm talking to all y'all out there. If you got an 850 credit score and you ain't doing nothing with it, you might as well have a 300. What good is to have an 850 credit score for 31 years and you never leverage it in order to do something for your children's children. What are you doing? You running around saying, I got an 850 credit score. What did you leverage it to use it to do? If you didn't do nothing, you might as well have a 350 credit score. You got to learn how to balance leverage credit. And then, if you are never late, get ready for this. I'm off balance right now. If you're never late, the equilibrium will balance itself out. If you're never late, your DTI will go down. The debt to income, your credit utilization rate. Your credit utilization will go down. Mine was at 89% when I was flipping all these houses. When I got that $500,000 and I paid them back, my credit utilization now is at 17%. Right? It's at 17%. Why? Because I paid everything off. Now, here's the kicker. You cannot miss a payment while you're leveraging your credit. If you miss a payment or you forget to pay one of those jokers, that's where your credit is going to drop drastically. Even when you get your credit utilization below 30%, because most people like to get it below 30%, I say get it. Once you come out the order of flipping, you're flipping, right? You're hustling, right? Once you come out the order of flipping, y'all better catch this. You're going to want to get that thing back below 10%. Because what happens is after you flip the house, because you're flipping the house to get rental properties. You're not flipping the house to just flip the house. You're flipping the house to get a rental property in order so your children can have something later on. And if you want to go buy a brand new truck, you can buy it, and now you have an asset that pays for the liability. So, when I paid everything back off and her credit score went back to an 800, she was ecstatic. Now, how can I do that and kind of get away with it? Well, number one, I am what? From the United States Army, I'm what?
Retired.
I'm retired. So before I get out of bed, I'm going to get a nice chunk of change. But I'm not going to rest on my laurels, because if I leave this earth, that money stops. So I had to get out here and hustle, like I'm teaching you, and I hope I inspire you to do this, because if you get some rental properties, you can leverage those rental properties all kind of ways. You could go out and get what you call a home equity line of credit. Then you can take that home equity line of credit, and then you can go buy another property that's $30,000, because once you learn how to find the deal, you got something. And then on top of that, you could be like Clarence. Instead of taking the money, taking the house and flipping it, if you ain't got no capital or no money put up, you could just get the house under contract, and then you can make a spread of $15,000, $20,000. You do that 2 or 3 times, but you got to have discipline. You got to have discipline. If you start wholesaling deals, you can't take that $20,000, $30,000 that you done made off one deal, then you make 10 off another. You got $30,000, then you got to make 20 off another. You got $50,000. You can't go out and buy a G-Wagon, because if you go out and buy a G-Wagon, you're back to zero. You're back to square one. Matter of fact, you are underground. You're in the you are in the basement. You have to go out and buy a performing asset. And a house is not an asset until what?
You're paying rent for it.
There you go. The house is not an asset until you move a tenant in there who is paying you monthly to live there. And then and only then, the house becomes an asset. The house is really a liability, especially when it's empty, because anything can happen. The insurance company does not want to insure empty dwellings. Then they make you put it up under construction loan contract. It's called a DP3. It's not the same. You're going to have a DP3 anyway when it's a rental, but they're going to have you in a construction type insurance, because you ain't going to get all that money because it's empty, because they know squatters, vandalism, they're going to come in. So you got to have all these things in place. What I'm telling you is, at the end, if you use your credit score right and you don't miss a payment, everything will balance back out. Once it balances back out, you have to sit down, and this is the part of the business that we don't normally get. You have to sit down. You have to pay your creditors. You need to call your credit card companies. You need to call your HELOCs. You need to call everybody, even your private money lenders. Now, I'm only telling you something that I'm doing, so you can do it your way and put your twist on it. But this is how I do it. I sit back at the table. Sabrina said, you ain't buying nothing else right now. Because I ain't going back through that. We did that over 18 months. And Greg, we was in it. So I sit down. Then I start paying everything. Then I call my credit card company. And I said, hey, check it out. I got a $40,000 limit on here. Can you raise my score up? Now, remember, I done paid everything down. So my DTI, my debt to income, went down. I waited for it to show up on my credit report because I got a little ding on my phone that's showing DTI going down. It was at 89%. Now it's at 17%. The credit score went, check it out, true story. It went from a 16 to a 763 in 2 weeks. Now, how did it do that? I got on the phone and I called a credit card company. I said, hey, check it out. I'm a loyal customer and I need you to go ahead and report that thing. I know you're supposed to wait till the statement date. I said, but I need you to report this because I just paid y'all 2 weeks ago $40,000. Can you update that just as soon as possible? And they go, sure, Mr. Radford, we can update it. Then 2 or 3 days later, it's still updated. But I made that phone call. I was proactive. I didn't wait. And if they didn't do it in 7 days, I'm calling again. And then I said, hey, can I speak to the supervisor? And I'll get the supervisor and I say, check it out. I'm a small business owner. Small business owners run the world. Small business owners, anybody under 500 or less. And a lot of big businesses have a lot of people under 500 or less. So I really need capital and I need cash flow. Because if the cash flow ever stops, my business stops. The cash flow has to be, it's a faucet. You turn the faucet on and when you turn it off, it stops. You never want it to be turned off. This is why you can flip houses, it's good. That's okay, that's pretty, and that's all right. But you have to maintain and own something. You have to have ownership. If you ain't owning it, then your cash flow is going to stop. Sabrina's job laid her off when we first got together. They laid her off. And she was hysterical. We wasn't even married, right, babe? Check it out. Check it out. Now, you know I love this woman. Check it out. Here's the deal. We wasn't married, right? She said, hey, my job laid me off. I don't know what to do. Now, I ain't tell her how much money I had. Okay? So I kept it smooth. I said, okay. True story now. I said, just go to school. I can't go to school. I got bills. The hell you talking about, Greg? I got things I got to do. They laid me off. I've been out there for all this time. She's out there 20 years, and they laid her off. I said, don't worry about that. You go to school, get your GI Bill, all right? The whole 9 yards. When I say GI Bill, if you marry somebody who's a veteran, those benefits cross-collateralized. When I say cross-collateralized, I mean it turns into the other lane. Cross-collateralized, it goes to the left or the right. They went in the lane. So she was able to go to school under what I had already done. So if you're a veteran, you need to tap into your benefits. As my homeboy Prince P say, he said you need to tap in. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Say it one time, Prince.
Yes, sir. Tap on in and get good information here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$sign rap on cash out. So, long story short is, Sabrina, and I'm telling you this because we as men, we are the vessels of our household. And we are responsible. We are the king of the household. So I was able to, not that I'm so great, I was able to tell my wife, don't worry about that. She was like, don't worry. I was like, yeah. I got a house up in Atlanta. I got a house down here. I got one over here. I got some money I saved up because I ain't went out and bought the houses yet. I said, so just go to school, get your master's degree, and then if you get a job, you get a job. I said, but eventually you'll become a realtor, and we're going to retire you from that job anyway. Glory be to God. November last year, we retired Sabrina from her job. So, I ain't telling you nothing. I'm not telling you nothing that I heard. If you learn how to invest and get rental properties, man, we can do tremendous things in our own community. And you can move that thing how you want to move it. Now, when you start getting rental properties, you're going to have to know how to get the tenant. That's pretty simple. You can call me or Sabrina, but you got several ways to get tenants. You can do Section 8, all right? And if you don't want to do Section 8, you can put it out on Facebook. You can put it out on Zillow. Zillow has a thing that's free. No, it's not free. It's $9.99 a week in order to run an ad to get a tenant. Now, I will vet my tenants, and you know, going to call Sabrina at 205-1307, and she'll tell you how she vets the tenants. Now, I don't do that part. I let my wife handle that. My part is to what? Locate the deal, fund the deal through private money, and then get Mr. T. Gregory, John Atkins, and my whole team, all right, Janet, everybody is on the team. I get all the team members, and I get the team members, and I say, hey, look, this is what we're about to do, and let's see how we can do it. So long story short, we flipped all those houses, but we kept the rental property. Calculator, ready? Now, we're going to add this up, so I want y'all to get this. Because you can do this, because I ain't no better than you. Because I don't know how to flip the house. The rent on one property. I ain't going to give the addresses to them. I'm just going to put it out there.
What's the address?
1950, 1,950. You got that? The next rent, $900. Somebody put it in the calculator. The next rent, $1,365. The next rent, $500. The next rent, $1,350. How many is that? Just in Bartow. What could you do differently if somebody just handed you $6,000 every month? There you go. So that's what you can do if you learn how to do this business. Now, is that whole $6,000 ours? No. You still have to pay taxes. You still have to pay insurance. And if you go out and get a HELOC or you cash out refinance one of those houses, you're going to have to pay back the loan. But at the end of the day, she's going to have $4,000 a month. So when we retired Sabrina, she didn't miss a beat at her job. Because Radford Homes started paying her the salary that she was making at her job. I said, babe, check it out. When you retire, I'll pay your salary. She said, I'm retiring tomorrow, Greg. Tomorrow. All right? And then she retired. But we didn't just do that haphazardly. We did that with calculated steps. In the military, we say step by step. Paying chunks, step by step. Ready? There. That's what we did. So I'm doing the same thing with you right here. Taking you step by step. If you ever run into what we call a bottleneck, then you just pick up the phone and you call me. I'm going to give you the game. He just told you the guy liked to run his gator. He liked to run his mouth. But more so, I like to bring y'all here in my community where I grew up at. My impetus meaning my why, is to be able to come back home because I grew up in a raggedy bungalow house right down the street. It was 1920. I was able to come back home and do something good for Jamie and Miss Honey Bunch. I was able to build a new house in my neighborhood after retiring from the Army. I was able to take a duplex that nobody wanted because it was overvalued. It wasn't overvalued to me because I own it free and clear today. Because I flipped out of that thing. Glory be to God. Because if you're flipping, you're not flipping to get money to go buy vehicles. You're flipping to get rental properties. See, this is a part of the game I never had a class on. I always be talking about flipping to flip the house. My mission statement is to flip the house in order to get the rental property. So I can leave 10 rental properties to Gabby, 10 rental properties to Risha, 10 rental properties to Kiki, and then have Sabrina over all of it. Because they'll mess that money up. So I leave it all, because she's 70% owner to Sabrina, and let her filter that out. So then if they go to school, they'll always have a place to live. Now, they might not like the house, but they won't have to pay no rent. There's a lot of people stay where they can because they got low rent. We all probably would like to go live in a nice, beautiful house somewhere, but we might can't afford it. But through owning rental properties, and the great thing about rental properties is what you call ideal. It produces income, meaning every month cash flow is coming in. That's the money that you're getting from the rent. You have to be responsible enough to tell that cash flow where to go. You're going to tell him to go over here and pay the taxes. You're going to tell him to go over here and pay the insurance. You're going to tell him to go over here and sit and park right here in this bank account because I might have a vacancy or my air conditioner might go out and then I need a new air conditioner, so I need $5,000. So you're going to put some money there. Then you're going to put some money over here for what ifs. And then the rest of it, you balled out with it. You do what you want. So at the end of the day, it's not really about houses. It's more so about people. Real estate is a people business. It's not a housing business. You're in the aspect of dealing with people, dealing with tenants. If you be a good landlord and you make sure everything is there for them and you look out for them, they'll look out for you. It's not that difficult with real estate. You have to build yourself a team. And once you get a team, you will see that this thing becomes elementary. It's rudimentary, meaning it's very simple to do, but it's also simple not to do. So, a recap. How do you find your first property? You go around and you tell everybody that you are in the business of owning real estate. If you don't know what to do with it, you're going to call who?
You.
You're going to call 931-241-9714. Or you're going to call Miss Sabrina, 863-205-1307. Okay? Now, if you want to learn about wholesaling, you're going to call Clarence. And you can reach him at
407-795-4402.
If you're looking for drywall, this is where I show the love. When you're looking for drywall and you need a painter, you're going to call Central Florida Texture and Painting. You're going to call him at what?
863-651-8325.
If you need a general contractor and you don't have a general contractor because you need a general contractor, you're going to call who?
863-294-6003.
If you need a realtor, you need a great realtor, you're going to call who?
863-205-1307.
If you need your haircut at My Touch Barbershop, you're going to call who?
My Touch Barbershop. You can reach us at area code 863-499-0171. Or you can book your appointment at mytouchbarbershop.com.
Plug in your wife. What's she do?
Simply Creative Designer Stacy. She's pregnant right now, so she can't make it. You can reach her at 786-203-1006. simplycreativedesigning.com.
All right. Hey, and check this out right here. Okay, this one right here. This is the MC. This is the AP. She's doing great things. How can they reach you? Drop it on them.
You definitely can check me out at Jazzy Conversations with Jazz on Facebook and on Instagram. And you can give me a call at 863-205-1603. Guess what? Greg is telling you, because you know what? Now is a dope time to make a comeback. And we're all going to make a comeback, right? So follow me on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah! Talk to him. I don't care. Well, tell them your social media.
So I'm a realtor right now. I'm also a notary public, and I'm a loan signing agent. So my Facebook is Sheena K. My IG is Sheena K. And I'm also on Twitter, Sheena K.
How can they reach you? What's your phone number?
863-399-0572.
Jeff, talk to him, Mr. Rich Club. Take it away.
Well, I'm Nino Black Crack Cake today, so if you want that Nino Black Crack Cake, you can just get at me for the tasty, delicious, nutritious cake. Area code 863-888-0468, and that's area code 863-888-0468. I'm Jeffrey Williams. I'm Free Not Furry, JEFFREY Williams on Facebook. So get at me there. I'm also the teen guru, the youth programs guru. So I do plenty of things out there for the young people, and you can always cash at me at Teen King, $, capital TEEN, capital KING. So I'm all over the place doing a lot of great things. I'm also getting the great opportunity to work with Greg Rad and a lot of people here in the atmosphere. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, keep hanging around these guys till I get me some flips. Yeah!
Kim, what's going on? Talk to these folks. Tell them about what you're doing. Kim is doing easy peasy, plotty planning, the whole 9 yards. And she's a product of Radford Homes and T. Gregory Flips.
Yes, I am. And you can reach me at 863-430-5050 or easypeasypartyplanning.com.
Yeah, talk to me. All right, talk to me, Janet.
Hi, I'm Janet. I am the founder of She Is Me, that strengthen, heal, and empower. I strengthen, heal, and empower, help women get strengthened, healed, and empowered. I help turn dreams into fruition. That's why I'm here with Rad, because he's going to help me turn my dream into fruition.
Talk to him, Susie. Yeah!
I am a new business owner. I'm CEO of Cleanliness Exquisite Cleaning, LLC. I clean buildings. I do construction. Whatever can be clean, I clean it. And you can reach me at 863-797-4850.
I need a business card.
Okay, gotcha.
How you doing? Talk to him. Tell him who you is.
My name is Marcus, and I'm trying to get in on this
Yeah. Clarence, talk to him, big bro.
Hey, I'm at Higher Standards Building Maintenance. I do culvert spraying, I do epoxy, I do janitorial work.
You a wholesaler?
I'm a wholesaler as well, so call me area code 407-795-4402.
Yeah. Anybody we miss? Raise your hand if I miss you now.
Greg, go back to Kim's. Let Kim tell them about her project.
Oh, Kim, there you go. Talk to her. All right, talk about that project. T. Gregory, come over here. Now, because this is something y'all need to hear. T. Gregory, come in some. And John, come out here. Come over here. All right. Here's a project that T. Gregory, Kim, Radford Homes, we all kind of collaborated on. Y'all talk a little bit about that project. Y'all need to hear this because this right here is a great project. Go ahead and talk a little bit about that, Kim. Y'all got it.
Well, Kim bought a couple of properties on the east side of town, and she had a wood house included with the property. It almost wasn't a house. It was almost actually destroyed, to be honest with you.
Sabrina wouldn't even walk in.
Y'all got to listen to this because this house was very dilapidated. And check it out. She's doing it right now. This is a live flip.
So I suggested to Kim, go ahead and knock the house down, to be honest with you. Kim decided to keep the house. We have rebuilt the house now, and she's getting great compliments because everybody who knew about the house just knew it was going to be demolished. It came back about 2 months later. Now the interior is completely done, the exterior is completely done, the roof is on, the windows are in, the doors are on, the framing is done, the electric is done, the AC is getting done. It was a project, even I have to admit, I would have taken it on, but my company did. And along with Kim's finances, we're almost finished with the project. So it is a great story. Greg won't let it go. He thinks it's amazing. I knew it could be done, but I wasn't really into getting it done, to be honest with you. But Kim, you can tell them how you feel about it now.
P.
Go ahead, Kim. So much. They have guided us along the process. We were so lost. It was a haunted house. It was scary. I'm telling you. But we were afraid. They guided us through the permit, everything. Gave us all of his tradesmen, everything. So thank you so much. Be Greg and Greg.
She ain't gonna go into it. Now let me drop it like that. All right, check it out. Before you get, check it out. Here's the deal. Kim has come over here. Kim, come here, Sabrina. Get in here. Kim has a property, and everybody, y'all need to hear this. Here's why. She has a property, and she's doing great things, and she has rental property. It's gonna be a rental property. All right. She went out. She found a property just like y'all are trying to do. She don't know anything about flipping a property, right? But she surrounded herself with like-minded individuals who actually knew how to take her from A to Z. And then she already have another property that's right there that's producing cash flow, that's up and running. Now she has the other property that's coming up. But she was able to do that because she was able to bring in the team, all right? And then she's going to go out and do her own shows and do her own events. When she goes to Lakeland or wherever, the same thing that y'all can do. Don't look at this as we're some superheroes because we're not. All you have to do is surround yourself with a circle of spirit that has the knowledge, that has the intentionality, that has the want to do it and take action. If you leave here today and you don't take action on nothing, all of this is in vain. You will have to take action and you're going to have to eventually pull the trigger. You may be scared and you just pick up the phone and call us. You got the general contractor number. You got John Atkins, the drywall. We got roofers. We got electricians. We got plumbers. We got everything right here, and like Jeff said, we're doing this, and most people charge for this. We're dropping it on you and telling you exactly how to do it. Not only we remodeling houses, we building new houses, but we got a product right here, Kim, who's actually doing it. Her and T, they're doing it live. I mean, she has a live flip that's going on right now. And don't think that you can't do it. And it's going to be successful. I think you got the AC in. So she got the AC in. She working on the plumbing. She got the electric in. She got framing done. She got windows in. She got doors in.
Now, none of that seems simple, but the house was falling apart. There were no walls on the house. There was no roof on the house. Just the front. Just the front was it, and part of the floor. And now she's gonna have a completed house in about a month, 6 weeks. She still to this day says she don't know what she's doing. But what she did was, she came to Radford, he then came to me, and then we went to all the subs. So,
say that again, T. Say that again.
She came to Radford and I said, I'm gonna kill you, bring another person to me. He told me about Kim. I then got with Radford and our subs. We put it together. Went to the city, got all the permitting done.
What's up?
So
here's the sub.
And he's one of the guys as well. But now she actually has 2 properties. One is up and running, and the second will be up and running soon. And Kim still says she don't know what she's doing. So I simply say that to tell you guys, if you feel you don't know what you're doing, get yourself with the right people, and that's what means you know what you're doing. That's the first step. We'll take it from that point. Now, he said something. The information is free. The work isn't free. I'll be real.
That's right.
We will give you a very fair rate. Because we need to make a living also. But no, really, she's really satisfied where it came because everybody rode by that property said they're going to tear it down. I finally put a sign out there. A guy called me and said, I can't believe you guys actually built that house. I got a house I'm getting to work on. I want you guys to work with me. That's how it works.
Stop right there, T. Gray. Now, you hear what now, I got them up here for a reason. Kim is doing a house, okay, on the east side of Bartow, right? People driving by and laughing at the house. The lady across the street said we called it the haunted house. We don't know how that thing is. It just was just messed up. She went in the neighborhood. T. Gregory put his sign out front after it started coming to life. And now people are calling her, asking to buy it and asking to rent it. Listen, folks. When you learn the intricacies of leveraging your circle of spirit, you don't have to know it all. You do not have to be the brightest crayon in the box. Or you do not have to be the smartest one in your circle. If you are, you got to get another circle. Okay, I have a mastermind every Wednesday night with Mooney. Mooney is my other flipper buddy who is amazing. And T. Gregory. And when we're there, I'm listening. I'm listening to what they're saying, and when we're there talking about our projects, it makes you believe that you could do it. When we're talking about our events, you think that you could do it. Once you start believing that you could do it, man, it's on after that. The sky's the limit. And then don't forget, then you're able to double back to come and do stuff like this, and we can build our communities. They laughed at our situation. Today, the housing market, there are not enough houses in the state of Florida. There's too many people moving here for the amount of housing that we have. So it's making the rents go high, and it's making the prices of the homes inflate, okay? So now, if Kim wanted to exit out of her situation or out of her house, she could. But what's even better is Kim can take her situation and cash out, refinance it. This is a live moment here. Let's just say, hypothetically, Kim has $75,000 into the deal. Okay? She has $75,000 into the deal. Kim can go to a financial institution, better known as a bank or credit union, let's say mid-Florida, or you could use a hard money situation that have what we call long-term financing. And they are compatible. They're competitive. The hard money situations, I'm going through it right now. I'm getting a loan from a hard money guy to stabilize one of my properties at 4.5% interest rate under Radford Homes LLC for 30 years. Folks, it's $600 a month. But I'm going to be able to pull that money out and then go buy 2 or 3 more houses and start the process all over again. Now, the property makes over $2,000 a month, so I'm still bringing home $1,300, $1,400 a month. She can do the same thing. This is where you become powerful with real estate. When you just can't flip the house, rent the house. You got to have strategic exit strategies. You have to have strategic exit strategies. You got to exit the door when the door is right. And there's several ways to do that. You can leverage it through a HELOC. You can leverage it through cash out refinance. You can rent it out. You can Airbnb it. You also got Airbnb situations that's going on right now that's making an enormous amount of ROI, return on your investment. So you got to be able to tap into this And Kim them has basically tapped in because people laughed at your situation. So if she wanted to, she could sell the house for a profit right now. And then that will pay for the other house. But she probably not going to sell it, right? There you go. She's going to keep it. So here's the reason why you want to keep it. I was at Ideal, but I lost it. Ideal. Income. Then the D is for depreciation. 27.5 years, you can depreciate an asset, which is a single dwelling house. You can depreciate over 27.5 years. Sometimes you can speed it up on certain things. So you can depreciate it, right? Then you have the E. That is the equity. Then you're going to get equity in it over time, hopefully. If you buy correctly, you go and do what we call a value add. A value add is what Kim did. The house was in a deplorable shape, should have been pushed down. She didn't push it down, she built it up. They laughed at her. I'm telling you now, some of them will laugh at you now. But later they'll be trying to rent from you. They'll talk noise about you now, but later they gotta come see us. If you in Bartow, you're gonna see us because we here. We ain't going nowhere. If you're in Lakeland, Auburndale, Winter Haven, they'll come see you. But she gotta have equity in there. Okay, then you have A. Then you get what you call appreciation. Over so many years, the house normally appreciates. Unless a bubble fall out, you have a downturn. And then L. The L is for leverage. You have to learn this part of the business. You have to learn how to leverage your situation. If you want to grow and continue to move forward in a fashionable way, you got to find a balance or equilibrium with leverage. And then you can continue to move forward step by step. So, hey, let's give everybody a round of applause, man. We thank y'all, man, for coming out. Let's see if you got any more questions. Let's shoot a couple of questions that somebody might have. Let's hit us with it. Anybody got anything?
One question for you, Greg.
Go ahead.
What number? Let's say you're looking at a property and you
can stop.
And you want to get help with the financing on that. What numbers would somebody like you need to see, or a lender need to see, to be able to say, yes, I could lend you the money on that one, or you know what, no, that's not kind of.
Okay, check it out. That's a great question. You all going to need to know this because he's getting down to the money. Because you can have a house, you can have everything you want, but if you can't get the finances, you're in trouble. Okay, that's a great question. So he wants to know, how can he get the money? If you got a private money situation because you've been flipping houses like Radford, it's going to be easy because he's going to give it to you off of what you know. But let's say you have never flipped a house. But I have one situation where you're going to get some money from this guy. But one prerequisite, one requirement with the hard money guy that I use, you have to have at least one mortgage. You have had to have one mortgage in your name. Okay, so if you got one mortgage in your name, they will lend 70 to 85% on the asset. Okay. When I say the asset, they're doing it on the performance of the asset. They're not really going based off of your credit. Okay. They're going to go off of it's called non-performing asset. And then they're going off of the house because they're looking at what the house is. So they may give you 75% of the acquisition cost. The acquisition cost, let's just say the acquisition cost for easy numbers is $100,000. So 75% of $100,000 is $75,000. So you're going to have to come up with the $25,000 difference spread. Now, how do you come up with the difference of the $25,000 spread? There's several ways. You can use a HELOC if you got it. You can use a credit card when you get the convenient check if you got it. There's ways to extrapolate the funds. You could call up a personal friend or family member if you got it. You can do all kind of things. And then the last way, you could call up a guy like me. You could say, hey, Greg, I got a deal here that is going to be dead in the wind if I don't come up with the 25%. The person who lend you the 25% becomes second lien holder. So the second lien holder is behind the first lien holder. So you actually can borrow all the money to get the project. You get it? Now, where it comes in then is, how are you going to rehab the project? You're going to have some type of funds. So I advise you, when you're flipping a house, you need 2 stores. What are they?
Home Depot.
Home Depot and Lowe's. Because 90% of what you need is inside of that store. And if you go to Home Depot and Lowe's, they give you a 0% interest for 6 months automatically. They also give you 10% discount for military. Now, if you're going to go do a large purchase, like when we were doing a new build, the duplex, and the Booker House on the east side, we spent well over $200,000 between those stores in the last 18 months. So when I go in there, I get 18 months same as cash. So when I run that thing up to $40,000, right? When I run my Home Depot credit card up to $40,000, I divide that by 18 months. That's $2,200 a month. Shit, I make $16,000 a month in rental income. So I just pay it back until I get to the house that I'm going to sell. And then when I get to the house that I'm going to sell, I sit back at my table, because this is the part that we don't quite get. This is the part that messed the flippers up. You got to sit at the table, at your kitchen table, and you got to tell that money where to go. When I got that $500,000, I started telling it where to go. You got to pay Home Depot $30,000. You got to pay Lowe's $20,000. And then what happens is it balances itself out. Then you get back on the phone and start calling your private money lender. All right, I didn't call my private money lender. This is a true story. Great question. You got all the questions. I didn't call a private money lender until what? My credit utilization went down. Because my private money lender said, Greg, if you try to fill out this application right now, he said, what's your credit score? I said, it's messed up. So I had to wait 3-4 months until I was able to pay everything off. And then I got a 4.5 interest rate on a 30-year mortgage. Come on, man. Then the house in Georgia, I'm going to sell that. I'm going to bring home $135,000. So in a few seconds, I'm going to have $260,000. I'm going to redeploy that money back into the Bartow. I'm going to come back around and start saying, hey, man, you got a deal? Here go $3,000. Clarence, I got $5,000. I need a flip, man. I got to go. Sabrina told me I got the green light. It's time to get it. So I'm going to get back out here and I'm going to start hustling. I'm going to start knocking on people's doors. I'm going to start doing everything I can to get the property. But we have to remember, it has to be done strategically and in sections. You flip the house, you pay them back. You call your creditor. You line up the hard money. And then you go back out and do it again. Everything that I say is redundant. John Atkins, the lady told John Atkins, everything Radford do, he say the same thing. Well, she don't really get it. If T. Gregory go and build a house, he only changing addresses. You're going to put up walls. You're going to put in windows. You're going to put in tub. You're going to put a roof on it. You're going to put shingles on it. Don't nothing change but the address. This becomes elementary when you do it over and over. And it's a system. And if you want to know more of the system, you got to get with me. You got to leverage out with me.
With the hard money, though, don't you need an LLC in order to get hard money on?
Certain ways, yes. Yes and no. It depends. When you need to do, if you don't have an LLC, there's certain ways to get the hard money as anyway. Because when you go to, even if you have an LLC, you're going to be the personal guarantor of that money. Meaning they're going to make you responsible if you default. They're not going to put it on your credit. So when I get $130,000 from my hard money guy, he's not going to put it on my personal credit. Right? He's probably not even going to report it to my business credit. But if I default, I sign the promissory note as the personal guarantor. So if I default on that, he's going to make me pay for it. Now, here's the catch. A lot of them don't want you to pay for it because they want your asset. Because they didn't lend you that much on the asset anyway. So the asset is more valuable than what you owe them. Yes. So you got to be careful with this thing. There's different fashions to it. That's why you should be $Radford Home Cash apping me. Some of that good knowledge that has dropped over.
You mentioned LLC a few times.
Yeah. LLC.
So, go ahead and hit her with what the LLC is for.
Okay.
Basically.
The LLC is basically kind of asset protection, and it shows the hard money guy that you've already established a business. You took the necessary steps to open up an LLC. It's easy to open up an LLC, right, Sabrina? You go to Sunbiz, You type in Sunbiz, you see if the name is available, you type in Radford Homes, you ain't going to be able to get that. But if you type in Radford Tony Mac Homes, you'll be able to get that one probably. And then once you get that, they're going to give you what you call an EIN number. That EIN number is going to be your social security number to your business. And that EIN number is then going to be sent to Equifax and Experience Credit Report and Dun & Bradstreet. And then they're going to start giving you trade lines. People are going to start sending you stuff in the mail because they're going to start predatory lending you. And Dun & Bradstreet going to start saying, hey, let me show you how to get trade lines. Trade lines are different things that's on your business credit report that's reported with your EIN. And once you do that, then the door is open. Then you want to go to a bank and open up a business bank account. You do not want to commingle funds. If you commingle funds, you're already messed up because when you get ready to do your taxes and stuff, you can't be commingling all your stuff with your personal stuff. It needs to be separated. And once it's separated, you're on the right trajectory. And once you do that, you need to have a business email, a business phone number. You should have a virtual address because it makes you look legit. And once you become legit, you don't have to worry about money. The money will come, I'm telling you. When I get off this thing, them folks are going to call me and say, Greg, I want to get with you. I want to learn. I see what you did today. Greg, I want to get with you. It happens every time. And guess what I say? All right, let's sit down and talk. Where you want to sit? And they go, hey, where you want to go? Let's go to eat. I said, all right, well, I'll meet you at Burns Steakhouse in Tampa. On your dot. Yeah, cool. Sabrina, let's go. We go to Burns Steakhouse, and I'm telling you, man, and them folks give me money. They got to give me money. Who else is doing it? Who else is doing it on the level? Who is dropping the information? The game is to be sold, not told. I'm telling you how to get the game. All right? Did I learn something today?
All right.
All right. Now, pass one of those cards back around unless y'all got questions. Because I'm going to put those cards back out and use them again. All right. Hey, everybody network. Get everybody's phone number and share and like everything on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going. You got my card? You got any questions? Just ask me. I was supposed to take you through the neighborhood, but it's hot right now.
Hey, we don't have to swipe our credit card. We're at the end of the presentation. We don't have to go swipe.
Ain't no upsell here.
Or nothing like
Upsell.
that.
This is strictly give back. But you can also hit me up at $ Radford Homes. That's $ RADFORDHOMES. $ Radford Homes Cash App if you want to drop something on them.
Send that on over to that man.
Be a blessing.
That's how you do it, man. I love this shit.
Settle down. Huh? Appreciate you coming with you in a minute.
Thanks for me. All right, folks, we out of here, man. This is Greg, man. You can hit me up, man. If you got some good information, I drop something on you. You want to donate? Do it. $ Radford Homes. RADFORDHOMES. Talk to you later.